go, let's go, Raider Nation. Let's go, Raider Nation. Are you ready for some football? You ain't ready for no football. You ain't ready for the Oakland Raiders. It's the invasion of Oakland Raiders. Are you ready for some football? You ain't ready for this football. Here we come, baby. Just win, baby. Feel the storm of the cold autumn wind, baby. It's the Oakland Raiders. Get your mouthpiece. You in the black hole with the black beast. This ain't black gold, this is black silver. Commitment to excellence, we deliver. And we'll play past regulation. It's the invasion of the Raider Nation. Let's go, Raider Nation. Let's go, Raider Nation. Are you ready for some football? Yeah. You ain't ready for no football. You ain't ready for the Oakland Raiders. Come on, it's the invasion of the Oakland Raiders. Let's go. Are you ready for some football? Yeah. You ain't ready for this football. The Raider Nation is united. When they see the Pirates, fans get excited. The opposition get quiet. When I hit the field with my eye patch and my shield, silver and black will attack. Are you ready for some football? The silver and black will attack.
See you later.
Are you ready for some football? Raider Nation. Let's go, Raider Nation. Let's go, Raider Nation. Let's go, Raider Nation. Let's go, Raider Nation. We all, Raider Nation. We all, Raider Nation. We all, Raider Nation. We all, Raider Nation. Just win, baby. 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 Just win, baby.
Kind of surprised, honestly. My expectation is that, hey, everybody out in front is going to win for at least another week. My theory is that the teams that they play, they're all going to win until they face the Raiders, and the Raiders control their own destiny. But then you saw today the referees were throwing flags. They were flag happy against the Colts. They're taking care of this guy. The league ain't out to get the Raiders. If they were out to get the Raiders, Mike McCarthy would be allowed to challenge. Because that was not a fumble. That was the biggest call of the game, I think, was the Darren Waller fumble. And obviously he fumbled. We know that. But they're not out to get the Raiders. Because the referees kept the call. The call stood. The Raiders got a first down. The Raiders did not fumble according to the refs. The Raiders were going to win the game according to the refs. They were not going to lose. On top of the Darren Waller fumble, everybody that's ahead, the Steelers lost, the Colts lost, the Raiders are ahead of the Colts, the Raiders are tied with the Chargers after the Chargers lost, the Raiders are ahead of the Cleveland Browns. And the Raiders are on track to make to the postseason now that they, in effect, eliminate the competition. Depending on what happens with the Chiefs-Chargers game, what you have set up is the fact that the Raider Nation is on attack mode, is in Raider invasion mode, and the Raiders are on track to compete for the division title with a win at Arrowhead. This little coin flipping majig, if this thing ends up breaking, it's going to break in week 13 or against LA, that's for sure. This coin is going to be incorrect at some point. It's going to be incorrect in a week that the Raiders win. If this guy is some secret agent making these predictions with a coin, then it's going to be a week where everyone's like, oh, Raiders, they're not going to beat that team. Maybe that's what happens because obviously the Raiders are going to defeat the Chargers because the Chargers are a pretending joke. And those are some queer ass colors at the word in that little teal blue that they got. Faggot ass team. We all know what the Chargers could do. They're gay. There's no division title for them. So they're gay. They're a faggot team. They're chokers. They're losers. The Raiders are hard on the silver and black. Derek Carr is the best quarterback in the league. He's thrown for the most yards out there. So, yep, the Raiders and the Chiefs are going to compete for the division. That's what's going to be happening. The Raiders going to compete for the division. The Raiders going to defeat the Chiefs in the postseason. They are making it too easy. Having all these teams lose. Having the Chargers lose. The Chargers have to face the Chiefs. The Raiders have to face the Chiefs. What if the Chargers miss out postseason? Y'all, you know that? What if they're like, hey, the Raiders are in the postseason? Well, what if the Raiders can still be competing for the division, and then the Chargers are going to be trying to make the postseason, and then the Raiders can knock out the Chargers out of the postseason the very next week after the Raiders knock out the Browns and the Raiders knock off the Colts. The Raiders knock them all out. The Raiders start at the bottom. They beat those teams like the Steelers and the Colts and the Browns and the Broncos and the Chargers, and the Raiders be like, we want New England. We want New England. We want Buffalo. We want Kansas City. We want all those teams. The Raiders going to beat everybody in the AFC this year. Everybody. Absolutely, the Raiders are going to defeat the Patriots or any team in the West. Because the fact is there ain't no dominant team in AFC whatsoever. The Ravens are a pretending joke to the core. They barely squeaked by the Bears. They barely squeaked past the Lions. They barely squeaked past the Browns. What other result? What other result did the Ravens have? They barely squeaked by? These were not the only games that they squeaked by. The Vikings. That's right, the Vikings. That game was in overtime. The Colts, they barely squeaked by. They got destroyed by the Bengals. My point is that there is no dominant team whatsoever in the AFC. So the Raiders are the best team in the AFC. The Raiders are the top dog in the AFC. The Raiders will beat anybody in the AFC. Some juicy scenarios in play. My theory still is that in a brand new stadium in the AFC West, one team's gonna be hosting the playoff game. If it really rigged that way, they can throw curveballs and say, "Whoa! If it wasn't rigged, well, how come the Cardinals are at playoff game?" Well, the Cardinals are hosting the playoff game because they're going to be a Super Bowl contender entering next year when they host the Super Bowl. That obviously they're against home Super Bowl hosts. So when you're against hosting the Super Bowl, then that's when the league will give the Rams that home playoff game. They'll give them the home playoff game next year when COVID era is done, the pandemic is over, and it's all back to let's get people from out of state, from out of the area. So that's really where the Rams playoff game is going to come into play, is when the Cardinals are hosting the Super Bowl next year, and this home Super Bowl jinx is going to come back to life. And the Raiders 100% knock off the Patriots. Too good for Madden thinks the Patriots face off against the Raiders. Derek Carr is 0-2 or something like that. So I think this is a perfect. That bad blood, because America hates the Patriots. And the Raiders hate the Patriots. The Raider Nation hates the Patriots. And America hates the Patriots. And that is when the Raiders are America's team. When they beat the Patriots. When they beat Tom Brady and the Bucs in the Super Bowl. This is when they are America's team. You feel me, dog? That's when that's going to happen. It's going to be so predictable if they do line up the Patriots and the Bucs against the Raiders, because they're just making them America's team. You start from the bottom and beat all of them teams at the bottom and in contention, and they work their way up. Oh, you can't beat this team at the top. You can't beat this team at the top. Oh, it was only week 1 against Baltimore, blah, blah, blah. Derek Carr this, Derek Carr this. Play Marcus Mariota. His career is over. He can't do anything, blah, blah, blah. It's all piling in the script. All the Raiders need to replace their coach. Blah, 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 blah. This is the backup quarterback made history against Tom Brady. The interim label is now going to make history now this year. All of them will involve Tom Brady. Every single one of them. There is absolutely zero dominant team out there this year in the AFC. You can make the case for any team from a footballing standpoint at the top from the Ravens all the way down to 6-5. There's no parity in the AFC. There is just no dominant team whatsoever in the American Football Conference this year. And that's why the Raiders are the real deal. The Raiders are absolutely going to make mad strides towards the end of the season. Absolutely, the Raiders will start out with the Washington football team. They're like, oh, the Washington football team. They're going to beat Seattle. They're going to now they're going to surpass the Cowboys. Now they're going to beat the Dallas Cowboys. They're going to come back and win that division, all that. And then for coming in and beating the Cowboys on Thanksgiving, they're going to give that one back. They're like, hey, you may have gotten screwed by the ref and Darren Waller and all that, but we will return the favor and we will defeat the Washington football team on Jim Plunkett's birthday. So, hey, if your team is hit with COVID and all that, then you're not going to choke the division. That you're going to be in a scenario where you're going to be facing off against the Rams in the first round, like I've told you all the way back before, that number 4 is going to be up against number 5. The Rams are number 5. The Cowboys are number 4. Nothing's going to change there. Which team's going to struggle, collapse more? It's going to be the Cowboys. They're going to lose. So, yep, we'll give one back for the Raiders on Jim Plunkett's birthday, obviously. And that will be the week where everything is all good, where Cowboys are okay and the Raiders just keep on winning, becoming the next dynasty, on a roll, on a tear, just absolutely dominating, because that's what they're about to do. It's going to be so epic to see. And it all has already started on Thanksgiving.